Before watching this movie, I was intrigued by its idea, and it looked like a movie similar to Secret Window, but the final result left me bitterly disappointed, because this movie's ability to hold the excitement is very lackluster compared to the quite impressive movie starring Johnny Depp, which also contains a terrific performance by John Turturro. It just lacks everything a good mystery thriller like this needs. First and foremost, it is way too slow in the build-up. A movie could get away with a slow build-up if you stay invested during it, but that's far from the case here. In that case, it is hard to feel as interested as you could have been, which kind of ruins the movie experience. The problem mostly is that this 23 mystery is a very thin soup. If you actually had known that Jim Carrey was the author of this crime novel a little earlier, then the excitement might have been better. Sadly, also the story itself doesn't feel as real and interesting as many other crime stories. If you compare the fictional story to the ones told in the movie 13 and Secret Window, those stories feel so much more alive than this story, which doesn't take the viewer on a journey where he really feels the right connection. I also believe that compared to what Johnny Depp does in Secret Window, which is the movie this looks like the most, Jim Carrey doesn't manage to act good enough in this one until right before the last 20 minutes, where you see some more vivid scenes between him and his girlfriend. Apart from those scenes, this movie mostly depends upon this real life incident which the story is based on. It all becomes created as a fantasy, but I feel a fantasy is taken a bit far, which is not the case in a movie like 13, where they managed to make the events more real. Because the real problem with this detective called Fingerling, a very strange name in a horrendously written story, I do get it's more a number obsession with the number 23, but the way this movie is made, it seems way too hopeless and over the top. Not to say that while this number obsession really gets to Jim Carrey's head in the end, you would wish for him to go crazier a little earlier. You could also compare this to the thriller movie Dreamhouse, where Daniel Craig runs a terrific role with two different personalities. When in comparison, Jim Carrey is unable to do this. Lastly, however, it is more down to the way this movie is made than his actual acting capabilities. Because as always, it's always a way this one could have been better, with a more exciting build-up and a faster pacing. I get that you need to build up a mystery, but I've seen mystery movies a lot better than this, which is easily why this one would classify as the worst mystery movie ever made. I really wouldn't recommend wasting your time on this, and if you think of watching it, be prepared to be disappointed. For me, it's only a 3 out of 10, and it's a long time since I've been disappointed like this.